Hey, here's a weird one. Why do we almost all universally choose to root for a team just because they're from our area? But when a musician or a comedian or a magician or fucking gymnast, who cares, whatever, somebody's trying to do something at the highest level and they're from your town, you actually kind of put them in a different box. You go, "Oh, well that's Kyle. I went to high school with him. He can't be good at the thing." Well, you went to high school with him fucking 8 years ago. He might be really good. He might be amazing at whatever it is. He might have never played guitar that you know of when y'all were in school together, but now he's a great guitar player. I see this more with comics than anything. But I was listening to a podcast. I think it was Theo Vaughn's podcast, and the Suicide Boys were on there. And they were talking about how they can sell out huge stadiums all over the world. Like they're selling out the same size of things in Germany as they are in the United States, but they can't sell out anything in their hometown because people know them as whatever their names are, not Scrim and the other guy. Like they're not the Suicide Boys. They're just those guys we knew from high school, and they're from here, and nobody from here can be any good. I mean, what is that? Is that you going, well, since they came from the same place and I'm not doing the thing I want to do and I'm not pursuing my thing, that I'm going to discount their thing because you see a little bit of yourself in them, or because you see they point out maybe your lives are too similar and you think, let's use an example of somebody like Nate Bargatze. You don't know who Nate Bargatze is, like you probably do now, but you didn't go to high school with Nate Bargatze. You're not from, I'm assuming he's from Tennessee? I actually don't know. I think he's from Tennessee, but let's say you're not from Tennessee. You're from Oklahoma. And then you go, well, yeah, of course, Nate Bargatze, 1 in a million, because he's in the right place at the right time and all these things, all this can happen for him. Not because Nate Bargatze worked his ass off, got pretty good at comedy, moved to New York, put in tons and tons of hours, and tried really hard to just painstakingly craft every single word until it was perfect, and do it over and over and over, and deal with the rooms where he eats shit and people don't like him, and deal with all the bombing and the booing and the whatever. New York, when Nate was coming up, way harder than how we're doing comedy right now. People weren't always there just to laugh. Like if you go to Austin right now, I've said this before, but I think I could go to Austin, and there's some rooms that aren't this way, but I could probably go to some of the rooms in Austin, walk in, and go bibbidi bop boom, pa-ta-ta, and get a little bit of a laugh. It's not gonna be as good as, an actual joke, but people are excited to be there and they want to support you, and they go, oh, this is where we're supposed to laugh, and something about doing that might be funny to them. I'm not saying it's completely just people laughing just to laugh, but they're ready to laugh. There was a time, and there are still places, where comics couldn't practice the way we practice now because they would get bottles thrown at them. And there's places, like I'm saying, I mean, I'm not saying that your place isn't harder than my place or somebody else's place, but just the thing where, I'm assuming that's what it is, where you go, oh, this guy's from my town, so he's nothing. Like, if somebody from your town's on American Idol, that's great. Like, I just found out maybe a month ago that my cousin was on American Idol a few years ago and nobody told me. And it's my fault. I'm not on Facebook. That's where people tell people stuff. So I'm not like mad at anybody for it. But if I knew she was going to be on American Idol actually singing, not just like background, whatever, I would clear my day to see it. We're not super close. Like, she'd probably recognize me, but she's my cousin. Like, she's a person I know. I just think it's cool that she's doing that. I'm happy for her. She's on American Idol this season. Her name's Skyly Thompson, if you want to check it out. I hope she goes far. Haven't really got to see her sing on there yet, but she's made through at least one round, so that's great. But I just realized this might come out way after that. So congratulations, Skyly. She just won American Idol last week. I don't know when this comes out. I don't know what she's going to win, but she's a good singer, and I think it's cool. But I know people that go, oh, well, that's my cousin. She's not a good singer. She's just my cousin. And it's like, you can't see the thing because it's your cousin, or you can't see the thing because that would mean admitting that if you worked as hard as your cousin, you might be able to do what your cousin's doing, and you're a little jealous. I don't know. I'm speculating. But we'll still root for a team. It doesn't matter, because a team's not a person. A team's not like us. A team is a combination of a bunch of people that are kind of like us, but kind of different. So we have the excuse of going, oh, well, I'm not part of that basketball team, therefore I can't go further into this tournament or whatever. Or I wasn't on that team where the scout was coming out because the whole team was good. So that's why I didn't make it to college or get a college scholarship. Or, I was on a team where nobody passed me, so nobody got to see how good I was at shooting. That's fine. That might be true, but it might not be. And let's say that person does have a huge advantage. Like they're just lucky. They live in the right town. They have the right parents. Their parents work in the industry that they want to get into. So let's say it's a comedian. They've not really worked as hard as you, and their uncle runs Zanies in Nashville. And their uncle lets them come do guest sets for 5 minutes anytime they want. And so they get a lot of practice. And then after a lot of practice and a lot of people seeing them, people end up liking them. Yes, they had a little advantage over you because their uncle runs Zanies. But they still went and did their fucking 5-minute guest spot and didn't go, why don't I get to headline yet? They just did what they could do, and they did it over and over, and they worked hard, and people liked them. And even if you don't like what they did it pretty fucking well because a lot of people like them. And that's why they're successful now. And to me, it just sounds like it's all rooted in a weird place of jealousy. And I might just be saying that because I've felt that before. I've seen people, I'm like, why did he get that and I didn't get that? And it's like, oh, well, I'm not at that club all the time. I didn't send them a fucking video. I don't have a video that's good enough to send them. But that guy does. Sorry, neighbor kid came to the door. I was saying maybe he did get a chance to go film his set somewhere that you couldn't go because he didn't have to work as much because he doesn't have kids or whatever. Who cares? That's him. That's his situation. That's that person's situation. A lot of times I'll hear people say, oh, well, she got it because she's a girl and I'm not a girl and all they're doing is hiring girls. You know what? For a long time, all they were doing was hiring only guys. And there were just a couple girls doing it. And I'd still say it's not a disproportionate amount of ladies getting opportunities. I mean, it seems like sometimes, yeah, a girl might get a gig because she's a girl and there's a guy, but they already have 3 guys on the show and they want to add a girl for diversity. That's fine. But also, sometimes that's the only gigs these girls are getting. I mean, it's all day. You can go, they got it because they have this and I don't. And I got it because I wasn't able to do that or whatever. You can make any excuse you want. But the reality is, everybody's thing is a little different. So whether or not they're from your hometown and you know them personally and they're somebody that you thought wasn't going to make it very far in high school, and you legit, it's just that. You're just like, I just don't believe in them. Or it's somebody that you're a little jealous of because you feel like you're too much the same and you know if you work just as hard, you could have what they have and you want what they have. Or if it's just a situation you can't be in. Like, hey, that person's dad is the brother to the guy that runs Zanies. Who gives a shit? You're not them. Do what you can do. Maybe you can't do all that. Maybe they make it. They get to be really big. They play music professionally. They're the best comic in the world, whatever. And you can't be that. That's okay. That's fine. Do what you can do. And don't complain about what they're doing and make it sound like because you can't get what you want, they shouldn't get what they want or what you want that they already have, whatever. Now, you can definitely tell me I'm wrong, and you might be right. I don't know. But I think that thing roots in that, just the jealousy, I wish I was doing more, but I'm not. Almost everybody I know that complains about other comics and goes, man, that guy, well, he just got that because of this. It's usually a person that's not working that hard. That being said, I've wondered why people got on certain festivals that I submitted to that I didn't get. And then a couple months later, I heard somebody say, hey, you know when you record your set for a submission tape, you shouldn't, I think it was Cody Troutman that said this on Nick Campbell's podcast, but you shouldn't necessarily just give them the first 5 minutes or a full 5-minute set if they ask for a 5-minute tape. Once the crowd's warm and things are popping, you start at a laugh and you finish at a laugh and you get the best 5-minute chunk of the middle of your set. Don't cut it up and try to trick them because they'll see that and nobody wants to see that. But take the best 5 and send them that. I thought they said they want to see a 5-minute set. I only submitted 5-minute sets. So how often do a 5-minute set? Like, how often do I do it? Almost never. I do a 4-minute set at a few open mics. I do a 5-minute set at the occasional open mic. I do a 10 to 15 to start a show. I do 20 to open for people. I do 25 to open for people. I do whatever I want sometimes. I do 8 minutes sometimes. It's very rare I actually just do a 5-minute boom boom set. But also what you have to keep in mind is if somebody's sending you a 5-minute video of a 5-minute set, then there's a little bit of them grabbing the microphone, some whatever. If I'm sitting down watching submission tapes all day and I see the guy walk out and they say, everybody make some noise for Andrew Patterson, and then, oh shit, oh whoops, I gotta move that, okay. And then it started, I'm already bored. I don't wanna fucking watch this. And if it's like most places, they make you watch at least a minute of it, and after a minute, if you don't like it, you can pass on it and just go, fuck it, you don't get in. They're dealing with a ton of submission tapes. So when you think you didn't get picked for something because they don't like you, it might be that. Maybe be more likable. Or, more likely, your video just wasn't that good. Doesn't mean you're not a good comic. It means you sent the wrong fucking video. And that's okay. Or, you're not a good comic yet. Keep working on it. None of us are as good as we want to be. Or if you are as good as you want to be, you're a fucking weirdo. I actually don't know any comics that I think are good that I hear say how good they are or have conversations with them and they're not working on something. Like some of the best comics I've ever talked to are working on something. Like I had the opportunity to tattoo Big J, I guess it was probably about 2 years ago, and I was pretty new to comedy. And I was really nervous to ask him any comedy-related questions, but he just kept bringing up comedy. And he was talking about a joke he was working on for a special and how he wasn't sure how this... He's like, okay, so I've been doing it this way, but if I do it that way, and if I change this word, and then the punchline is this big act out, and I don't usually do an act out, but if I just put my arms out, that's like a big thing for me because I'm usually just on the stool. I was like, oh shit. This guy's like, in my opinion, one of the best I had ever seen. I mean, he's really good. And he was obsessing over little details on a joke that he thought wasn't good enough yet. And he wasn't going, yeah, I'm here and there, and this is how much I get paid, and I'm fucking cool. He was just like working on one thing, trying to figure it out. And that's why he keeps getting better. And I don't know. I know that doesn't seem very related to being weird about your classmate that's a professional musician or comedian or whatever, but I'm not saying you have to support everybody you've ever known from your hometown or whatever. I actually don't expect that out of anybody. I don't do that. There's probably a bunch of people in town that I've never heard of that are trying to make it as rappers, actors, whatever. I don't fucking know. But what I do know is I've been guilty of the thing where I go, well, they're from Lawton, they can't be that good. I live in Lawton, Oklahoma. And that's not fair. That's not fair at all. There's a great painter here named Robert Peterson. Not Patterson. No, it is Robert Patterson. No? Shit. It's one of those. His username's CalebLee81, I think, on Instagram. You should check him out. He's really good. But anyway, I've been guilty of it. Somebody said, oh, there's a great painter that lives in town. I go, well, he lives in Lawton. How could he be? I'm about to sneeze. And we're not going to edit it out. There it goes. Sorry about that. Okay. At least I warned you. Part of it really was, and I can go through all this, part of it for me really was going, okay, he's from Lawton. If he was that good, I would have heard of him. That makes sense. But I didn't have the thing where I go, oh, he's from Lawton, he has to suck because I'm also from Lawton and I think I suck. I went, oh, cool, maybe an artist that's like really fucking good. And I went and looked at the work, he's really fucking good. He's sold paintings to some really well-known public figures. I would drop names, but one of them is currently facing charges that are beyond the scope of normal stuff I've heard of. But we'll just say somebody that had white parties owns a painting of his. And some other people too. It's not just that one. But the point is, like, there's well-known public figures that know who he is and know about him. And then if you ask around town, there's a couple murals he's done. He's a real nice guy. He'll hook up somebody with a mural for very cheap and just do it to get his art out or whatever. But not a lot of people know he's from here or know who he is from here. But across the world, people know who he is. Like, it's kind of perfect. He can live here and go into, like, I saw him at Staples one time, and I was like, Robert? And he was like, Andrew? And I was like, oh shit, you know me? He was like, yeah, I follow your work. And it was the biggest compliment ever because he follows me on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. I think he's good. He thinks I'm good. That's great. Why can't we have that happen more? Why don't we just go, hey, it doesn't, you don't, like I said, don't just support them because they're from your hometown, but don't discount them because they're from your hometown. Maybe give them an extra 20 seconds per video. Maybe go, hey, I'm going to watch this guy's clip of a stand-up clip, or I'm going to watch this guy's song or whatever. And you get 20 seconds in and you go, oh, this, not for me. Give him 40 because he's from your hometown. Give him a little, give him a little bit more. Because it is really cool having people from your town do stuff. Like, I'm from the town where the guy that created SpongeBob was born and lived for a while and then moved away because you can't create SpongeBob here. But, I mean, you could now, I guess, but not really back then. But things like that. Like, the guy that created SpongeBob is from my hometown. Like, that's fucking cool. I'm not a huge SpongeBob fan, but I think that's cool. And we've had several country singers that are somewhat close to here kind of blow up. Wichita Falls area and stuff like that. I don't know a single one from Lawton, but I think Carrie Underwood's from like Woodward, Oklahoma or something like that. And I think that's cool just because she's from my state and she's doing big things. I like that. I don't know why you wouldn't. I think we should all give everybody a chance, no matter where they're from. And I guess what I'm saying is maybe give them an extra 20 seconds if they're from your hometown, because you might be a little biased. And one of my favorite comics around here is from Lawton, Matt Farrell. He's really good. I think he should be blowing up in the near future. And I think it'll be cool if everybody in Lawton supports him on it and whatever. But if not, he'll just go perform all over the country, everywhere but here, and he'll do pop-ins at places like Comedy Avenue where people appreciate him, and he'll eventually come back and go, hey, I'm going to sell it out, but it's going to be people coming from out of town, which is weird. Also, fun fact, Rodney Carrington, I forgot what city, but he's from a small-ish town, I think, in Oklahoma City near Tulsa. He might actually be from Tulsa, but I think he's from a small town around Tulsa. And he's now hit the sweet spot where he can sell a 1,500-seat theater in Lawton, wake up, have breakfast, walk his dog, take a shower, have lunch, hop in the car, drive to Lawton, make $80,000, have somebody driving back home because he's a little sleepy after a show. It's a pretty cool place? Pretty cool place to be, or space to be in. I don't give a fuck, whatever. It's a pretty good spot for him. And I think that's a really cool, like, that is cool. And I think people from Oklahoma do support and love Rodney Carrington. And I don't think they know he's from Oklahoma, but I think they get a general vibe. And he's probably mentioned it. But my dog's sighing at me. That means I'm rambling too long. So I'll see you next time.